living my life like a one-woman play, feeling confused and alone. I held on tight to the life that I knew, till it wasn't the life I remembered. Finally admitting I hadn't a clue, opened my arms in surrender. And I made room for grace. I just stepped aside, opened up.
Some people drink from the fountain of knowledge, others just gargle. Some people drink from the fountain of knowledge, others just gargle. That was posted on Facebook by my friend Michelle, and I just thought that was a profound statement. And in our lives, we need to gargle a little less and just drink from the fountain of knowledge a little bit more. Good evening, everyone. My name is Shirley T. Burt, and I run a business called Esteem Institute. I work with professional women who have been hanging around with the pain of shame, guilt, and they just don't know how to get out of it. I work with them and teach them how to feel better in their business suit as well as their birthday suit. It is about self-esteem. It is about self-love. It is about knowing you matter right this minute. I enjoy what I do as coaching and what have you, and that's primary, but I also run a business with the Rodan field industry, working with those dermatologists who created Proactive. Our products are medically based, and I am so proud of these products. How it has helped me is that I don't have to use as much makeup anymore. My dark spots are disappearing by using the medically based products from Rodan and Field. So we're not going to talk too much about that, but I want you to know that you can look beautiful in your own skin right now. And tonight, I just got through radio and interviewing this young lady, and I just think her business is phenomenal. It's like other businesses, but it's not like other businesses. And I'm gonna let her introduce herself and let her share with you what she does for a living, because we were intrigued on the radio with how she explained and talked with us in the audience about her business. So I want to let her introduce herself. And thank you so much for coming and rushing from one place to the other.
Thank you for having me.
Telling the audience who you are.
I'm delighted. My name is Ayana McMullen. I'm the owner of Harmony Organizing. And we bring balance to people's lives through organization, through visualization, transformational systems, and creativity. And I know that sounds like a lot, but it's really very simple. So like for visualization, we're talking about things, goal setting, just deciding what you want, transformational systems, creating the systems that align to your personality and your lifestyle, and creativity. I like to have fun with it. And we're multidimensional beings, so why not? If you love to sing, we can incorporate music or something into your space. So
into your space. Mm-hmm. I like how you make it personal. Mm-hmm. And talk a little bit more about that, because that's what I was intrigued with when you were on the radio show a few minutes ago. How there are places where things belong in most homes, mm-hmm. but some of us don't keep our stuff there.
That's true.
And you
That's
pay
true.
attention to that. Talk about
That's
that a
true.
little bit.
So when I go into a space, I first have to have a conversation with the client and see what their personality is and how they're moving in their space, because that's going to determine how you flow throughout the day.
Right.
So if you choose to do your paperwork like we discussed before in your bedroom, well, we can create a system where you can be or operate at maximum productivity within your bedroom if that's how you like to do your paperwork. So I align it according to your life so that you can custom make your life, because your life is not the same as my life. You're not operating the same that I'm going to operate. So that's what I really get in tune with my clients' personality and their style, so that we can create a system that flows. And I use that word a lot, flows, mm-hmm. with their life, because I see order as a systematic movement or a flow.
Order.
That adjusts.
Order.
That adjusts to, order that adjusts to one's life naturally.
Yes.
And it should adjust to your life naturally, not confine you.
Yeah, not be so rigid.
Not be so rigid.
Because
Yeah.
I think that's why things fail a lot of times when people come in your home and say you need to be this need to be here, this
Right.
need to be there. That's not where. If that's not where I have it, I wanted you to figure out how I can keep
Right.
it where I'm working and still have it decent and in order.
Right. If you feel like that's where your energy is and that's how you're going to operate at maximum productivity, we can keep it there and then just streamline it so that it works for you. Now, some people do have things in their space where they say, oh, it never really worked for me. So maybe we'll find another space. You just happen to keep it here because you're used to it.
Yeah.
But I always try to find a way to, or I always do find a way to customize it according to their needs.
Yeah, on the radio, Yolanda asked you a question about how did you get started in this and how long have you had your business?
Started Harmony Organizing. The concept of it, or the inception, as I like to say, started in 2010. As I shared with you, it's been a natural talent for me to just organize spaces, you know. And people always relied on me and the family to organize events. Whatever it was, I was the go-to person. But I failed to share on the radio that also something that happened to me in 2011, I call it my life supernova. Everything just came crumbling down. You know, I lost my job, I lost my apartment.
Wow.
The economy, as you know, was really bad during that time. So everything came crashing down. But I call it a supernova because it was such a big explosion, but supernovas are really bright, you know. And so they shed light.
You can see it, yes.
They shed light on a lot of things.
Yes.
And so I was just consumed. Like, I was working more than 40, 50 hours a week, either was volunteering or my job. And I realized once those pressures were taken off me, how relieved I was.
Yes.
And it was like an epiphany. Why have I not been enjoying this life like I should have?
Yes.
And so that's why I call that stage of my life as realizing the balance that I needed. I really began to realize harmony. I had started in 2010, but it wasn't until 2011 that I was like, this concept really is deep in me now, because I'm beginning to realize, and I've experienced so many things because of it. I have learned to salsa dance now. I'm like a salsaholic. Everybody knows this. I am a salsaholic.
All right. Now, where do you do your salsa?
Oh, it's so many places in Richmond
Really?
now. You can do Havana 59.
Yes. I can get
Aloft.
it upstairs. The second floor, you got to get up 5 flights of stairs.
You can
to
do
get
it
to the
there.
salsa floor.
They even have, I'm shouting out all the places so nobody get mad at me. On the Rocks. There's also a place in Petersburg.
You go to Petersburg?
Sometimes I will travel.
I was supposed to go to Meals last Friday, I think, and you can tell by my voice I'm calming down. I couldn't talk. I was sick, you know, and so, but I was so looking forward to going down there with the music. They do the salsa and stuff there. My friend.
Oh yeah,
from
that's a great place to salsa too. Yeah, I love it. I love the community.
Yeah,
I just love the dance. It's a great dance.
Yes, I just think it's freeing.
It is.
It is free.
It is.
It's free movement, and I believe emotion and motion ties together for
That's
what
right.
you teach, as well as what I teach and what others teach. It is so critical to realize about how important it is to move in our lives.
It is very much so to move.
It helps the mentality, and talks about. Today I did a class online, and someone shared about how some of the research shows that the movement cuts out the possibility of getting Alzheimer's.
Yes, I read that as well.
Yeah.
I read as well.
So it's something as simple as that can help. We need to do it.
Right.
It'd be a shame that we get that because we didn't move. And
that's why I see order as such a freeing thing. It allows you to move. It allows you to be creative. It allows you to address all the sides of you.
Yeah.
You know, whether you like to sing or you're a dancer or whatever, that's what it does. That's how I see it.
But you know what I'd like for you to share with one thing I'd like for you to share with us, what you share with us about your mother and moving you.
Oh, okay.
And part of why you're a good organizer.
Yes.
Your mother was utilizing you.
When I was younger, and I didn't know it until she told me. If a sibling was junky, you know, you always got that junky sibling. She would move me into that room with that sibling so I could get them straight.
Because you can't stand.
I don't like mess around. It's just too messy.
And your mother knew that. I thought that she was brilliant. That is brilliant.
Yeah. She would move me into that room. I think I only had 2 siblings. One of my siblings I didn't get to spend that much time with.
Because they were the junkies.
No, she needed help too. But I don't know. I didn't stay in the room with her that much. And so then she would, once they got straight, she would move me to the next room because, you know, we had to share a room. So, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that's a cool story.
It is very
That's a
cool.
cool
But
story.
it's like you had a technique, and I was not aware.
Not
of
aware
it.
until she told you that she was real true.
Yeah.
And just honing your skills is what
That's what she
happened.
was doing. That's
yeah,
right.
really honing your skills. And I think the audience would be interested in one of the questions I asked you about how long have you stayed but the person you've stayed the longest. Kind of give us an idea, because people, some things I think can be done in a day or 2 days, because you say you do a room or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever they need. But you have had people to bring you into their space.
Bring me to their space, and it takes quite a while to get straight. So, like I said, the longest I had was about 3 or 4 months.
3 or 4 months.
With a solo entrepreneur, and he really had piles of paperwork that he needed to get together, and that's no small feat,
Yeah.
So I go in there and we do a consultation. You actually have to sort through the items to see what they are, and then you put them in specific categories. Then you organize them, and then you store them, and that's in its the very simple format of the organizing process. And creating systems is important because it's needed. Everyone has life, everyone gets busy, but you can put it back easier when you have a system. I got busy, okay, but I know now where this paper goes. I know how to put this back in there. And that's one important skill too that I give my clients is transferring the knowledge of the organizational process.
Okay, you're teaching them. You're expecting them to learn.
I'm expecting them to learn.
And not to need you as much when you get through. Maybe to come help later.
Or a different project.
Yeah,
they'll call me back for something else, but I want them to be able to maintain their space themselves.
But you physically had to help them do it. And
I do.
I think people need to know that when they pay you to come in to do the service, that you physically in there with them and doing the work.
I'm your coach, your cheerleader, I'm everything, all in that.
But you make it fun.
I make it fun. Yeah, so we'll play music. If you need to take a dance or a sing break, we can do that too.
Yeah, one client that does what?
She used to take her singing breaks without notice, mind you. And I'd be like, oh, okay.
That's got to be fun.
Yeah.
That is a different thing.
And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I just went. I was like, that's fine. I have no problem with it. Yeah.
Awesome. You mentioned something that one of the organizers I work with, Debbie Bowie, told me, because I was so happy to learn that I wasn't just whatever.
Just out of it. You weren't into it.
With the paper thing.
Yeah.
And she shared with me that people that have paper around them, quite a bit of paper, seem to be those people that have grief issues. And you sort of inflating yourself or just surround yourself with a wall, protecting yourself. And I know it to be true because of feeling the energy that it is when it's removed.
Right.
It is a real thing. You can't move it all. You can't make too many changes too quickly. Right. With some of those things.
Because we do have an emotional attachment to our things. When we go to a store, what's the first thing we do when we see something? We're like, oh, I like that. You get happy about it. Like, I gotta have it. How does it look on me? So we do have emotional attachment to our things, and sometimes we put things around us for protection or barrier or whatever reason. And so when you start removing those things, it is a very emotional and personal
and you respect
act for it. And I respect that for some people.
That's what I like about what you do.
Yes, I do.
And most of the people do, but the part that I felt was strongly different with you was recognizing, even though it might belong in the bathroom, you can help me figure out if that's not where my flow goes.
Your flow goes, that's right.
Because they're just going to try to work it in there, and maybe later it will change. Because
that's right.
You said that things do change.
And I believe at the end of the day, I say a harmony space should be flexible. It should be lovely. It should look good. Of course, it should be organized. Workable means you can actually work in it, and simple enough that you understand this is here for this reason and why. And flexibility is key because as I mentioned before, we all go through stages in our lives. I may need to shift some things around according to my life at that time.
Right. Tell the people how they can get in touch with you if they're interested. And you're going to be here for the whole show. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, because some people might call in, might have questions.
Yes, I'm willing to answer
questions. People call in
questions.
after 8.
Okay.
That's when we calls coming.
Okay.
So if you hear, they may have some some questions for you.
Okay, so through the phone, you can contact me at 804-657-7405. Also, my webpage, Harmony.org, that's www.harmonyorg.com. Also, email hello@harmonyorg.com, and I'm also on Facebook, Twitter at Harmony Says, Instagram, and Pinterest.
Okay, now you're going to say it a little slower.
Want me to do it one more time?
Yeah,
Okay.
slower. Because this time they might have a pen.
I got you. Pen and paper ready? You know it's in your drawer somewhere in the kitchen, so get the pen and the paper.
Is it the truth? Is it the truth?
So you can contact me via phone, 804-657-7405, via email, www.harmonyorg.com, website, www.harmonyorg.com, email hello@harmonyorg.com, and also on my website you'll see the Pinterest, the Instagram, and the Twitter links, so you can connect to those as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What do you want to leave our audience with? What information would you like to share that you think is something critical?
It's critical to understand that you do have the ability to custom make your life through order. That order is not this stagnant, rigid thing, but it actually is a flow that adjusts to you. And you do have that power and that ability, and it's empowering. I think the paradigm needs to shift. That is not. It's an empowering process. And you learn more about yourself, about your life, your surroundings around you, and you can enjoy life better. We want to be in the moment. You know?
In the moment.
We want to be in a state of ready. Like, I'm ready for that. So many opportunities are missed.
Yeah.
Because we're not ready for them. But that's what we want to do.
That's powerful. That's powerful. That order.
Yes, it's very powerful.
That order.
If you think about it, everything naturally has an order. You know, let's just think of the water cycle. You got evaporation, condensation, precipitation.
Yeah.
So why not bring that into our lives? You know, there's a system for everything, and I think, you know, people shy away that word from system, but there is a specific set of processes in which you do things, but it's freeing, it's liberating.
Right.
That's how I view it.
Right, and again, coming back to why I consider you to be unique, you do that based on me.
Based on you.
Based on me. And I think that is what's needed. You know, when people come in and say, shift this, and it's not paying any attention to my needs.
Right.
You know, like, you know, you see this here, so why don't you understand that this is how I do stuff? You know, this is how I do it.
Right.
You must pay attention. Some of it might be changed, but basically, that's how I operate.
And if it's not according to your lifestyle and how you operate, you're less likely to keep the system.
Keep it going.
And you're back to
the same
square
old,
one again.
Always,
you know?
always.
So it's so important.
Yeah, I told you that Debbie is one thing I know. She can ask me for scissors, I can pull that out. So I was successful, so I know it can happen again. I know it can happen again because I know I can pull those scissors right away every time now. And it is wonderful to know where they are. You don't have to look for it.
Yes,
and
it is.
Doing some other things like that too.
And you don't have to keep doing what I call like surface work. That surface stuff, always finding something or looking for something. You can get into a deeper level of being and thinking because you don't have to worry about where my stuff is all the time or how is this affecting me? Because, like I said, things affect you. You know, it's freeing.
It's
very freeing.
And everything affects us.
It does.
Whether
we believe it or not, or feel it or not, it does.
I think it's important that you say that. You don't have to believe it. It is happening.
It is.
It is happening. I just recently was told by my physical therapist about, you know, something when the body didn't feel right, all the rain and stuff. I hadn't even thought about, you know, like you've been hearing war stories, like World War and stuff. She says it's real. The barometric pressure affects the earth, and we are part of it with the water in our bodies. Yes, she said that what you're feeling is real.
It's real.
So that was freeing to know that it's not imaginary just because it's raining.
It's
not just something people are saying.
Right.
It really is affecting us. So we need to, I guess, learn more and listen more. That's why I have different people on, so that we can get that knowledge, not just goggle.
Right.
Not goggle.
Take a deep
I mean, we need to goggle, but not all the time.
Right. We don't need to spit it all the time. We need to ingest it sometimes.
We do. Yes, we do. Anything else you want to say before we switch up?
Anything else I would like to say? I'm so elated to be here. I work with my clients. I'm always just wanting to get to know people. I build my business on relationships.
Yeah.
That's the foundation of my business. Let's get to know you and how you operate. And Harmony is all about balance.
Yeah.
So we want to have balance in our lives. And again, let's do this based on your personality, because it just means the appropriate proportion. So what's correct for you? What's correct for me? You know, that's what I like to
all
leave.
different. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
I appreciate you showing up tonight here as well as with the radio show, because I think the information you're sharing, even if there are people who are not able to call you in right now, maybe in the future, and
Yeah.
because at least they now know order is important to the quality of our lives.
It is very important to the quality of our lives.
All right, now we are going to take a break and bring on Yolanda, because we promised online that we were going to do tonight what we did last week and open up the lines for
Okay.
people, some coaching if people want to. If not, we still will be talking about coaching and self-confidence and what have you. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Eliana. And you might, when we have a show again, you might show up again.
Oh,
This week,
fantastic.
we were asked to do 4 shows, so we'll do the next one, I think, November the 30th, because we missed one night. But we so appreciate tonight.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now the blessings arrive every day since I made room for grace. I want to live without making demands, asking for help when I need it, being happy just doing the best that I can. When I stumble, I won't be defeated. Since I made room for grace, I just stepped aside, opened up a space. Now the blessings arrive every day since I made room for grace. I made room for grace. Opened up space. If I had insisted on all that I wanted, I see I'd have sold myself short. But when I stopped resisting, I got what I needed and so much more. Since I made room for grace, I just stepped aside, opened up a space. Now the blessings arrive since I made room for grace. Just stepped aside, opened up a space. Now the blessings arrive every day
Welcome back. Again, I'm Shirley T. Burke, and the name of the show is Something Different. And we have been trying something different the last couple of shows that we've done. And I am a coach, and somebody called me that spiritual coach the other day, and they really explained it, and it sounded real spiritual to me. So I am a coach, but to each individual, whether it's a confidence coach, and that's what we say most of the time, confidence coach, whether it's a relationship coach, whatever your needs are in terms of that, we work with you on a one-to-one basis, but we also do free consultation for 30 minutes to see if I'm the one. I might not be the one. And if I'm not the one, I brought somebody else with me that might be the one. And this young lady is named?
Yolanda Gray.
Yes, yes. And
Thank you for having me on tonight's show.
Yeah, Yolanda was here last week, and we had people calling in, and that's what we want to do tonight. But we want to talk a little bit first about coaching again, explain it, and maybe go a little deeper with what we have been talking about outside of here in terms of needs and how like what we were talking about in the car about the addictions and how that is confidence related.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that go down. So talk a little bit about what you do, and you can tell them about what your base work is.
Well, I call myself a certified holistic life coach, and that I always say that's like a title. That's something that
But
I
you're
am.
certified in that.
I'm certified in holistic life coaching, and I also have a master's degree in counseling. And what I do, mostly who I work with is women. I do work with people, but mostly women who have, maybe come to a place in their life where they're trying to figure out, what do I want to do?
Right.
Who am I? Maybe they're mothers that have already raised their children and find out they're empty nest.
Empty nest.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
I believe we're all born to create, and God gave us something to do in life, and you raising our children is probably one of the most important things
without
to do.
any lesson plan.
Right. Oh, gosh, got that right.
Without
But then
lesson.
they're gone, and
Yeah.
so some of them are struggling with depression and addictions, and we only have one life to live,
Yeah.
and we need to make it the best life we can live.
And if you listen to the news, a lot of people are suffering from a lot of things. And you hear about suicides with young people at our meeting Friday at Fab Women.
Yes.
That was the topic. The mother was there that her son had committed suicide. I've had conversation with friends, and they are talking about people in their family about suicide. We talk to people about relationships.
Yes.
So there's so many things that people need coaching, or coaching might not be. They might need licensed clinical social worker for some of the
Right.
issues, but a lot of things can be done through coaching. And I know you've had retreats and different things. Where the retreat that you have in the mountains, what type of retreat is that?
Well, one of the retreats that I've been involved with over the past 6 years has been a retreat for women in recovery. So that's a different
Does
type.
it matter what type of recovery?
Yes. And,
Okay.
if you send me a message, I can tell you more about it.
Mm-hmm.
But there are also other retreats, what I call spiritual retreats. I feel like when you go to the mountains of Harrisonburg, it's already spiritual.
Yeah, for real. Any mountain. Yes,
Yeah.
any mountain. Yep.
So in September, the week of September 16th, I believe, through the 18th, I'm planning another retreat. And it's really just for women who are just going to go and relax. I have some workshops that we do there. And mostly we come away from, I've been on retreats myself a lot of times. I just come away with a rested mind. And we talked
rested
about that.
mind.
We talked about that tonight.
Yes.
You rest your body. There's no place to go out to eat. They bring the food to us, but there's no place to go shopping. There's no place. You're just there in nature. It's just so beautiful. So that's like one of the most fun things I do. And we do workshops workshops on different subjects. And one of the ones that I've been working on that I'll be dealing with in June the 2nd is this issue of money.
Ooh, that is a topic.
Yes, and
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
well, I stumbled across this this book called The Prosperous Heart by Julia Cameron, and it was
Cameron.
Yes, who did
The Artist's Way. Yes.
And I love reading her work, but I had just left a job, a really well-paying job, and I was afraid. But I couldn't stay there another minute. Long story, but
there are a lot of people in that situation, but they don't have the nerve.
Right. Well,
conviction or resources or whatever.
Right. Resources is huge. But, I was there long enough, and I came across this book, and I started to create these groups around the book called The Prosperous Heart. And what it is basically, it's creating abundance in your life, and it helps you to look at money in a different way. I had this scarcity mentality that if I let go of this job, then I wasn't going to have anything. And what am I going to do? Am I going to get homeless? I took it all the way to the end. And this book really showed me that, we have a divine source, a God that takes care of us, and that if I just shifted my perspective and not walked around so scared, that things just get set in motion.
It's whatever they're walking around scared, you're going to have it. You have exactly what you're walking around feeling about and talking about. But when you turn it loose and open up, the abundance comes. It's been waiting. I always say it's been waiting, been real close a lot of times. Real close.
The whole idea of abundance, it's just something I've just started to really get into, but what a great way to live.
Yeah, isn't it?
And when you come from a place of an abundant heart, doesn't matter, how much money you have in the bank, but what it creates in you is it compels you to give to people who don't have, they don't have even their most basic needs being met. You look around when you're not so wrapped up in your fear, you can look around and see where people need help. And that's what I just love this.
Part of what brings happiness too. Is doing what you just described.
Yes. And she said that, the opposite of prosperity, I love this quote, the opposite of prosperity is not poverty, it's anxiety.
Ooh. That makes sense.
That made sense to me.
That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you walk around, worried and scared all the time. I'm sure like many, I've been down. I've lost a lot in my life. And a lot of them, the most important things I ever lost were not things.
I done told
you. Do you know?
Yes, I do. Understand. And I think the sooner we understand that and can appreciate that, the more peace you have.
Yes.
And it does not mean there's not chaos going on around us.
It
does not mean that. That's why I signed, I started years ago signing Peace and Joy as my, to leave that letter or notice or something. And it, again, I have to emphasize, it does not mean that everything is all right. But when you turn things loose and you know that the answers are there, and just you trust. I always say trust the process, and God has a process. The universe, like look at nature. Nature doesn't wonder about anything. There's, the fall, there's winter, and it follows suit. It seems to be a little messed up right now, but it's still something to it. I think somebody's dealing with weather war. I really think somebody's messing with stuff. They talked about this years ago when I was in high school, and I really think that's what's going on because it's too unusual, it's too unnatural, a lot of the things that's going on, so we won't get into that too much. But I agree with you in terms of that resting the mind, body, and spirit, and your location automatically does that because it's mountains and the lack of telephones and whatever else that might be, it makes a difference.
Well, actually, there is Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi is fine, but you
and they have a TV in every room. But because we're active and we're together and we're sharing. You're not in there watching TV. There's just
something else to do. You got something else to do now.
And it's really a beautiful time. And we don't, as women, take the time. For me, that's my getaway. I go there for 3 days, and I deliver the workshop, and that's fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I love doing that. There is just this camaraderie, just this sisterhood.
Yeah.
Get to know everybody, and they cook for you, so you're not cooking.
You don't have to do. Oh,
you don't have to do anything.
That's worth this. That's worth whatever you're charging, girl.
Right.
Yes, to be free to be.
Right.
You're free to be.
It's beautiful.
Find yourself.
And for a lot of us, that's the only time we do get to be alone, go away and be alone. Not that, we can't do it more often, but that's just for me. I carve out that time, and I know that's what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, and those other ladies too.
Yes.
Yeah, because some people are afraid to do it. Some people really are afraid to share in front of other people. They think they're the only one that experience certain things. And that intimacy they're afraid of a lot. But once you get there, my thing is when you have permission to talk or not to talk, you wind up talking.
Well,
because other people are sharing.
Well, one of the things I know, because I've been in your workshops and I've experienced it, is that there is an energy that comes in.
Yeah.
And, even if you want to pass, and I tell people, tell the women, you don't have to share if you don't want to, but even if you want to, you end up sharing because of the energy that it's a safe environment.
Right.
And everybody feels really, okay. It's okay. I can just be myself.
Right.
And that's what, your big thing was like everybody can just be their authentic self.
Authentic self, because who else is there?
Exactly.
Yeah. That's I think I mentioned last week that the article that's coming out in Women's Voices magazine that we post on Facebook and LinkedIn and everywhere. I've been writing for them for a couple of years, and my article this year is about fake it till you make it. And I don't believe in that. I just believe in do it till you get it.
I love that. Do it till you get it.
Because being authentic, trying to be as authentic as you can, you have to look at those areas where you're not so authentic some days, and try to shift our thinking, because the subconscious know us. Like I tell people, you have to be careful of what you say to yourself.
Yes.
Because the subconscious recognize your voice, and so it doesn't know whether you're joking or not.
Right.
So it takes those things, and sometimes you wonder why you feel so bad. It's because you've been saying negative things and talking about yourself. And if somebody else had said those same things, you would not have appreciated. You wouldn't have liked it.
And you wouldn't say it to anybody else.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, exactly.
That is so true. That is so true. Tell the audience a little bit about coaching again for those that weren't looking in last week. Let's talk a little bit about coaching.
Okay, well, coaching has really evolved over the years. When I first started looking into it, I was actually in school. I wanted to be a professional counselor. And I started, I actually hired a coach because I was at the crossroads in my career. Had worked in corrections for years, knew didn't want to do that.
How many years did you work in corrections?
I was in about 18 years in corrections.
I was there a while too.
Yeah. And I knew that I didn't want to do that. And
this is in California, excuse me.
California, but I came here too.
And you worked here too?
Worked for the courts here. So
wow.
Yeah, and so I was trying to figure out. It just wasn't working anymore. I couldn't do one more minute in a in that field. I was burnt out. I was just really done. And so I don't even know how I came across it. It was the divine order.
Divine order. I know about that.
Because I found a really great person who said, what she said to me when we talked on the phone. She was in Canada. She said, "Oh, I can hear stress in your voice." She said, "Oh my goodness, you're so stressed. You must do something, And anyway, I ended up going back to school, and that's how I got into the licensed. I wanted to be a licensed professional counselor. And then when I got on her website, she had some more information about coaching. I started learning about coaching. Now, coaching, I said, it has evolved. It's become a little more scientific. We all have our niche. Some of us have methods, we have established methods and that are tried and true, and can help people with these different strategies. But the International Coaching Federation, which is one of the oldest federations out there for coaches to get certified, called coaching. It's when you have the relationship, the coaching relationship with the coachee, it's all about action, accountability, and follow through.
Oh yeah, follow through is critical.
Follow through. So action, right? So
accountability,
and
follow through.
Right.
God, the
Action.
receive thing, yeah.
So-
Doing something.
Right. So we don't. I mean, I know you. I don't think you do either. But we don't. I don't, as a coach, do any kind of therapeutic work.
No, I'm not qualified
no,
for that.
I'm not
That's
qualified
reason I got
right.
names of people to refer folks to.
Right.
Yes, indeed. I have counselors that I can refer, but coaching on some issues,
Right.
yes.
Right. So when we coach, we start where the person is right now.
Right,
Where,
right.
What are your issues right now? What would you like? And some women, some people don't know. I was
Yes,
one. I don't know
yeah.
what I want to do. I just know I don't want to do this.
yes, I find a lot of people like that.
Right. And that was me.
Yeah.
So I like that definition. It's
Mm-hmm.
we help somebody go take action where accountability on both of our parts.
Yes, yes.
We're held to accountability
Right.
too, and then the follow through and the outcomes. Let's see, what did you get? What you wanted from working with me? Was it a good relationship, a good working relationship? And what we gave you, did it help you to
Right.
grow and to go where you want to go? And I tried just to keep it right there.
Yeah.
And someone said you were a spiritual coach. I think coaching is spiritual.
I'm telling you, that's when she said it. That's
When
it
you-
felt right in terms
Right.
of wanting to help, wanting
Right.
to people to be the best that they can,
Right.
and for us too.
Right.
Us too, working with individuals, it helps us also.
Oh, I
think,
learned so much.
Me too. Oh God, I do. Yes,
Yeah.
I do. Yes, I do. Yes,
Yeah,
I do.
and I think I really want to, hit that one. That but it is a spiritual practice, and even we know business coaches, and they teach us how to strategize our business, but they're working with people. They're working with us and meeting us where we're at.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that is the spiritual practice.
Right.
So I just really I love it. I love coaching. I love teaching.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I like doing workshops like you do, and then the retreats that we do.
And you say like teaching, and that you were at Brighton Stratford for how long?
I was at that college for about 5.5 years, and I was an advisor. Most of my teaching which I loved, was in teaching brand new students who are coming to college for the first time.
Awesome.
So you teach them about, this is a whole new
thought process.
It's like having a career. Now you're going to be disciplined, and and there's a lot of anxiety, especially for like I came into school really late too, and there's a lot of anxiety around, am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to get it? So I taught, basically it was called student development, and I really love doing that.
Action, accountability, and follow through seems something necessary
Yes.
for especially older students.
Right.
A lot of times that's been out of school for a while.
Yes, it's scary.
Yeah, it is so scary. I just we're not advertising Brighton Stratford, but I do know that they provide daycare for people.
Yes.
And that's I am glad to hear that somebody is doing something that helped that person that was an excuse
Right.
at one point.
Right.
That need to be there.
Right.
That need those services, that need that education. So there are places that, we're just letting people know that there are places that take care of that.
Right.
And there are other places in Richmond too, probably, but that's one place we know because of your experience
Right.
there and my experience of coming there too. When we say, we talked about addictions, we were talking about that in the car, and you say that's what you work with also at one of the retreats that you do. How do you find, in terms of addiction, I mean, we can be addicted to anything. And it can be just
Absolutely.
as powerful, whether it's food,
Absolutely.
or that stuff that we really, the chemical or whatever.
Absolutely. I like, I want to read again too this,
Okay.
because this really speaks to a lot about what you talk about, building confidence and
Yeah.
self-esteem in women. And when women, I keep speaking about women because that's normally who I work
we
with.
work with.
Right.
Although
but-
we help men, I've
Right.
got men clients and
Yes.
stuff too. Yeah.
But there's a lot of self-hatred when we are in the throes of our addiction. And
I wonder, do they think that?
shame. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look in the mirror and go, no, I did it again. I crossed that line again. What happened? How did I get here? And when you're in that place, you don't. There's no hope for a
Yeah,
future
yeah.
because it's just going to be the next day is going to be the same as the next day
Yes,
as the next
yes,
day.
yes.
And you know, like when we talked to the caller last week, it's like you need to get help. You don't do it alone.
Yeah, yeah.
But I like what Don Miguel Reese, who wrote the 4 Agreements, said in Anaya, Ayana, she was talking about those agreements that we make with ourselves.
Yes,
and I
oh.
love that.
Yes.
Because she really was speaking to the soul
Yeah,
too.
when you don't keep them.
When you don't keep them, right?
Yeah, it's painful.
Right.
And it
Exactly.
affects us mentally. The mind and body is
Right.
connected. So when we do one that mind thinks, it can affect our blood pressure, our heartbeat, and everything.
Or when you make agreements
Yes.
that are negative.
Yes.
You know,
Oh,
these
yeah.
negative agreements that
Yes.
wherever they came from. But
Yeah.
he wrote, when you look in the mirror and you hate what you see, you need addictions to survive. If you don't like the main character in your story, then everything and everyone in it becomes a nightmare.
Ooh.
But if you accept yourself 100%, then you learn to trust yourself. And whatever you want to manifest in the world will happen.
Have mercy. From what? Let's do that again. Everything will happen in the world you want if you do what? If you look in the mirror and what?
If you accept yourself
Accept
100%. Okay, so part of the getting out of the addiction, the first thing you have to do is make that statement. I am powerless. You know, I can't not do whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah.
And I need help. And when you accept that, you know, you accept yourself 100%, and then you get help to find out the real person that's under
Right,
there, hiding
right.
under that pain and that shame, then whatever you want it to manifest in the world will happen. And I'm not saying that you're going to have the yacht and the mansion.
If you want that, you know, you got to work a little harder, but it's not totally out of reach.
Right.
You should got to focus.
Right. Well, right. Whatever it is you want in the world to manifest. And, you know, there's a lot of other things that go around that.
Yeah.
But just that one thing of getting out of the pain and the shame of addiction.
And the guilt.
Yes.
That's a lot of guilt.
Oh, yes. It's not good guilt.
No, not at all.
It doesn't motivate us
No.
to change. And I spent a lot of years in mine, and you know, and I, you know, stand here and say thank you, God, and by the grace of God that I've been sober more years than I was out there
That's
in the
awesome.
world.
Oh, that is powerful.
Right.
That is extremely powerful.
Yes.
That is so powerful.
And I never want to go back to that life.
I understand.
And I never want to feel that the way I felt. And what I am manifesting in my life today is only because I'm open to the process.
Yes.
And I'm open to being coached myself.
Yeah.
I'm coachable.
Yeah, and that's what people have to be aware of. Things can change, but you have to be open.
Right.
You know,
right.
it has you know, if we don't change our thinking, our thoughts, our way of living, nothing changes. What
Right.
I say, if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Right.
It's just as
Exactly.
simple as that.
And sometimes I like what somebody said. You don't have to feel like it.
Yeah.
You just have to
Oh,
take
God.
the act. Just take the action.
Yes. Because today I shared with training I was doing online, like at Weight Watchers, they say being fat is hard, losing weight is hard. Pick your heart. Oh God!
Right.
And it's the same thing with other things. You know, like it is tough. Everything is tough. Pick your tough. What do you want to do? How do you want your life to be? How do you want things to change? It's just how we process it. But you got to be around people that's looking up. You can't stay around those same whining
right.
people or those people that are always telling you can't do it
Right.
and are not encouraging. I just think that's a critical aspect of things too. You can't stay where you are all the time and change. I just don't believe that.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I tell
Someone
you.
said, you know, what do I have to change? Well, you know, you have to change everything.
Mm-hmm.
You have to change your friends. You have to change your playgrounds.
Yeah,
You have to
yeah,
change
yeah.
the way the way you think,
Yeah.
especially.
Yeah, but the people need help in that. I think that's where coaching comes in, and some other things too. There are organizations that are out there to help you with certain
Right.
things. But changing your environment.
Yeah. Well, and what I offer too, because there is, like you said, there are a lot of help. There's a lot of help for addiction. In city of Richmond, there's a lot going on here because they're recognizing the terrible heroin problem that we have.
That is something.
And I was out at a wellness fair last Saturday, and there were the state agency was out there, Bon Secours out there. You know, everybody's out there to help, trying to help with the problem of addiction, and so it's something that's near and dear to me because I know that once you begin to get clear from your mind and get the poison out of your body, you know, it's only then that you're going to be able to to change direction and to really, get the life that you want.
Get the poison.
Get the poison out of your system, and it is poison. And then there's the process addictions too, like, gambling and the codependency, which is a whole other issue. Addicted to people.
Yep. I'm telling you, there's a lot of that.
Addicted to love, whoever's saying that, it was true. You might as well face it, you're addicted to love. Yeah.
Yes. There's a lot of addictions, and a lot of people got 2 or 3.
Right.
That's what
and what I found is that, I took care of the one and some others started oozing out.
I understand. I do understand.
And it's so
But to recognize it.
Oh, yes.
That is what some people don't even recognize, being aware.
Right. Well, and that's where coaching comes in, because I don't, like I said, there's so many agencies out there that can help you right now. That at the point that I'm at right now is what I like to do is create workshops to enhance sobriety, to enhance what you've already been, working through, however you've been working through, however you've been getting through to stay clean and sober out of your addiction. Overeating's huge.
Yeah.
I do twice a year a 6-week coaching session called Getting Right Sized. It doesn't have any. I don't give information on diets and exercise because I'm not qualified. But I do know what goes on in our heads. And like I said, one addiction cleared up, another one eases through.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me too.
We understand.
Yeah.
We understand. But I like the premise of your workshop. The right side.
Yes.
And it has nothing to do with the other stuff. It makes a big difference as to how we approach it.
Right.
I've worked with a young lady online, and it was called Breathe. And we ate dinner together. We couldn't see each other, but we were on the telephone. And all over the United States, there were 5 or 6 of us. And we sat there. We paid attention to the food. And paid attention to how our body felt and all. It's being aware.
Right.
And we just don't take time. We rush everything. Everything has got to be just like that. There are so many apps now that is built so that you can rush even more.
And so often we're on autopilot. Right.
Yeah.
So we don't even know what we're eating.
Right. And so we wonder why things aren't changing. Why our life. We have all of this and we're doing all this. How come we aren't at peace? How come we don't rest too well at night? What is going on? And this is what coaching helps with.
Exactly.
Coaching helps with that.
Exactly.
Coaching helps with that. Tell people how to get in touch with you. I know you shared with me. I'm so grateful you were able to come back this week.
I love this.
But share with the people how they can get in touch with you.
Okay. Well, if you go to my website, www.yolandagray.com, and just go ahead and fill out the contact sheet. Like I said, on June the 2nd, I'll be running the Creating Abundance in Your Life. And that's a free 50-minute webinar that I'll be hosting on June the 2nd. There's information on that. But if you want information on the retreats or other workshops, then go ahead and just put that in the comments section, and I'll get back to you right away.
That's helpful. That's very helpful. For me, I don't normally do this, but to get in contact with me on Facebook, just type in Shirley T. Burke. That's my personal page. But it has always served as my business page because I didn't know how to do a business page initially. And my business page is Shirley T. Keeping It Real. You'll find articles, you'll find comments and motivational sayings, and because I think words are powerful. people have said things to us that we still remember.
Right.
Some people you don't even know said something that affected you, and you're still living
Right.
based on that internally. And my cell phone number is area code 804-307-6616. 804-307-6616. And you can reach me anytime. I like respectful for bedtime and all like that. But
Yes.
we offer, the website is shirleyt.com. And we have an offer on there, free information, and opt-in where you will receive how to add peace and joy to your life.
Oh, great.
How to and we will be doing a seminar for the Network of Enterprising Women this coming Tuesday at the Tuckahoe Library from 11:30 to 1:30. And this is about creating your defining statement. And it used to call it the elevator speech, and people don't even talk on the elevator. Thank you all for taking time to look at our last show.
Yes.
We appreciate you being here. Let us know what you think. And we will be back again, I think, the 30th of November to do another show. We so appreciate all the guests that's been on. And love yourselves and know that you matter right now, this very second.
And thank you, Shirley. Thank you for having me on.
Thank
Enjoyed
you.
it.
I appreciate it so much,
love
more than you know. More than you know.
I really like it.
See y'all next time. Bye.
Now the blessings arrive.
Yes, awesome. Appreciate it.
We need to do something together.
Yes, yeah, we will.
When
we
you
will.
said the power of words, I thought that would so